is it that every time I go to the gym at 7 a.m., it's just me and a bunch of old people? Hello and welcome or welcome back to Big Fat Thoughts. Today's episode is more of a wholesome one as well. It says, we should learn from old people. I think it's quite a self-explanatory one, and I might be very biased when I'm saying this. I'm a morning person, right? And whenever I wake up at 7 a.m. and I'm going to the gym or whatever it is that I'm doing in the morning, I notice that it's only old people there. Like, only old people are there. And for some reason, whenever it's just old people around, I have like a weird sense of calm or like that I'm doing something right. I don't know. I literally don't know what the reasoning for this is. I don't know why that is the way that it is. But in my mind, whenever it's just me and old people, I'm like, hell yeah, I'm doing something right. Now, let me walk you through my thought process, okay? Old people have lived their entire life already. So if I have a routine for a month and that month was awful, super unproductive, just made me feel like shit, I probably wouldn't repeat that routine, right? Ideally, you would learn from it and you'd be like, oh, that didn't work out for me, so I need to switch this up. And as you grow, you keep changing and evolving and growing and realizing what's the best for you, right? So how is it that the general consensus of most, if not all, old people is that waking up early is good, going to sleep early is good, following a general routine, a really healthy one, eating at specific times is good. Do you know what I mean? Like, these are just things that they have, like rule of thumb. And whenever I am catching myself doing those things, it makes me feel like I'm on the right path. Because imagine an old person is 70 and it took them 70 years to come up with this routine, and it's really good. It keeps their circadian rhythm going, and they're productive throughout the day because their routine assists them in doing so. I'm 21 and I'm already at that routine. Makes me feel pretty freaking good and pretty freaking ahead of my time when I do something like that. Even eating healthy. I mean, I guess old people, that has nothing to do with old people, but like, when you're doing things right, you just feel like I'm on the right path, or like something good better come out of this. Like, yeah. Where do you always find old people? For me personally, I find them at parks and in nature. They love walking around in nature. And it makes me think. I'm just like, if they've lived, right? They've lived their entire life. And the place that they always keep returning to is nature. Obviously, it sounds stupid to even say because it's so obvious, but that means nature is good for you, right? Like, these are just things you can conclude from that. I think in certain ways, we should look up to the elderly and do as they do, because they clearly went through everything and still they experienced everything and chose this lifestyle now. So there must be some benefits to it. I guess it also kind of links back to the book I'm reading currently. I talked about it last week, but it's like about survival of the fittest and how human beings only keep around things that serve them. So if old people are doing certain things, it's probably because it's serving them. And if it's serving them at their grown age, it might serve me now, and then I can be ahead of the curve, if you know what I mean. No, because this is another thing. It's like, I go to the gym at 7 a.m. Why are there so many old people up before the sun? I just see it. Like, I don't know if you see it too. Maybe it's just me noticing things. I'm always seeing old people so early in the morning. Also, another thing, so when I wake up early in the morning, it's old people living, they're so happy, they're walking around, they're smiling at you. People are nicer in the morning time in general, except for the people that are rushing off to work. My daily routine is I wake up at 7, go to the gym at like 7:30-ish, and then come back from the gym at like 8:30-ish, start with my day at 9, okay? People go to work at 9. So when I'm going to the gym, it's just me and old people. This is so funny. It's literally just me and old people hanging around, and they're so nice. People are so nice in the mornings. Maybe this is just me doing like morning person propaganda. I'm really trying to convince you it's better to be a morning person. People are nicer in the mornings. At least that's what I've noticed, because in the evening times, people are bitter and freaking rude for no reason. And there's more people in the evening out and about. Whereas in the morning, it's just the morning people, and they're all so happy to be awake in the morning. Anyways, so whenever I'm going to the gym, it's just me and a bunch of Old people are just people that are also morning people on runs and stuff, and everyone just seems so satisfied with themselves because those people on runs, they're happy that they woke up and are going on a run. You know what I mean? Like everyone seems like they have something going on for them, which is great because they're just happy to be there. It's old people and me, and then on the way back from work, I kid you not, every single day on the way back from the gym, when it's around 8:30, I see people stressing, like walking around. Old people are still nice. They're walking their dogs, they're chilling, they're smiling. But everyone else around our age, a little bit older, up until their 50s, I would say, stressing out, walking around, running, fast walking. They're all heading to work, driving, honking. Like, why are we like this? Why are we doing that? Stop that. It's 8:30 a.m. Like, I do not need to hear you honking at 8:30 a.m. Relax. Everything's gonna be fine. Just, it's okay. And also you can tell that those people that are going to work, they're not morning people. They're just doing this because the world is built on that schedule. They don't like this. You can tell because they're stressed. You can tell the way they're walking. They're in a rush. They're in a hurry because they don't even want to be doing this. Another thing about old people, they love to talk. They just love to talk about random stuff. They'll say something to you and they'll walk by. I don't even know what they've said, but I'll just be like, do you know what I mean? Like, they're just so sociable. And I think that's another thing is because they've gotten so old, they do not give a fuck anymore. Old people don't care. They've lived. They've tried to please the society. They've tried to please society all their lives. I feel like that's all human beings. When you're a baby, you can say whatever you want to say. Then you get to a certain point when you're a teenager, you learn how to control your thoughts, control your mouth. At least a lot of people have learned that skill. I'm not sure if everyone has. You know, you think about what you are about to say before you say it, and you think about how it's going to affect everyone in the room. Old people have come back to the point A where they don't give a fuck anymore. Like babies, old people can say whatever the hell they want to say. And I think it's so freeing. Honestly, it must be so freeing and so nice. I love that. I love it. They don't care. Sometimes, obviously, I do have to acknowledge that it can be very rude, very insensitive, because old people don't really know, you know, what the newest acceptable thing to say is. So they just kind of be saying shit. But even then, I'm assuming it's very freeing to be at that stage of like, I don't give a single fuck. Like, I could say actually absolutely anything. And who's gonna stop me? You know, because they also have that added benefit of like, oh no, but like, she's old. Like, she doesn't know that that's not okay to say. You know what I mean? Like, old people kind of got it going for them. Like, they kind of do. They do whatever they want. A lot of old people have, you know, their pets that they're walking around. They just do what they gotta do. And I think that that is the blueprint of how we should be living. But we get like caught up in all this like work, society, what people want to hear from us, what we want to say just because people are expecting that from us. You know, I think old people really have it sorted, guys. I really do. And I think because I'm more of a morning person, I've been noticing old people a lot more recently. When my schedule is kind of fucked up and I wake up later in the day and I, you know, I'm falling behind on stuff, I never see an old person. When I'm having the most stressful day of my life, I never see an old person. But when I'm having such a calm, relaxing day, wake up in the morning, go to the gym, you know, I have hours and hours to complete tasks because I've managed my time so well, I'm always seeing old people around. Whenever I'm falling behind and slacking, I see people my age because they're also falling behind and slacking. So keep that in mind. Anyways, I don't really know what the point of this video was. I just wonder why old people do what they do. And I think that we should honestly be looking up to them. Not looking up to them, but taking influence from them, being inspired by them. Taking influence? Is that the right way of saying that? Taking inspiration from them, doing as they do, because clearly they've lived and they came to this conclusion. So it's kind of a shortcut if we just use their experience and get to that conclusion too, you know? I guess for today's comment, you should comment down below why you think old people are all so similar. Because I'm sure they've all lived completely different lives. They're people. You know what I mean? Like you and I probably have such different lives day to day. And we have different routines. But then in 80 years, well, in 80 years, I'd be 100. No, in like 50 years, somehow, do you think we have the same routine? Does it like always come back to the same routine once you pass like 60? Maybe past retirement, you just flow into the natural flow of things. Maybe retirement is a big part of it. Anyways, let me know your thoughts down below on old people, I guess. I don't really know. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!